All right, yes, I built an AI workflow in high level that adds tasks automatically after a phone call is completed. So here we can see the call transcript after a call is completed. I'm just testing it, so it's not actually a call here, it's a test. But what we see is that ChatGPT decides, yes, let's go ahead and add a task, and it kind of explains a little bit of the details, detailing why it thinks we should add a task. Once it does that, then it figures out what date to set that task for and output something that we can use in the default workflow action, and it gives that analysis, and then it writes the copy, which looks like this. So I'll show you this task. Follow up with Cooper on price estimate, and it says, and it assigns that task for the next day at 6 a.m. And that's basically what it looks like. This can run on every single phone call that you have and just automatically like generate tasks for you. I know I'm gonna be using this. This is like the coolest thing I've ever fucking done. Um, but I'm gonna be giving this to my client as well because I think with clients, a lot of the time they're busy, they're working on their business and they get a call like, hey, I'm interested in this quote. And you say, oh, yeah, sounds good. I'll give you a quote like later. And then they go back to what they were doing and they just completely forget and they lose that lead. So with this, it should give them a task and then you can send them a message like, hey, you have a new task, remind them about it, all that stuff. So here's how it works. This is actually just the testing version. Let me show you the legit version. Because what this does is it fires after a phone call is completed, and then we make sure that that call is at least 30 seconds. So maybe someone calls up and they just say, hey, I'm looking to get a quote, and then the business owner is like, yeah, I'm busy right now. Let me call you back in an hour. Then it'll just like process that. But if it's anything shorter, it's probably not an actual task, right? So it'll just ignore it. Then what we do is we use this workflow action to generate a transcript. So you can either use this workflow action, which is an app I built, I'll leave a link below, or you can use my other app, which gets the transcript using the native high-level transcripts. So either way works. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put that in the notes, so you can kind of get rid of these if you don't want them. But all we're doing is we're getting, firstly, determination, like should we add a task, yes or no? If so, should we add a date to that task? I misspoke there. What should the date be? And so basically all we do is we feed in like the current date, the month, the time, the day of the week, and then we give it a bunch of examples showing it like kind of how to format that date and how to explain like when the date should be. And then we make sure that that date is legit because sometimes ChatGPT can mess up. And if it does, we retry that. And then we generate the content, so the title and the body for that task, and we make sure that that's validly formatted. And then we go ahead and just create the task. And so you can create a task using the ID of the user who actually answered the phone call. Now, I don't think this works every time. I've tried it in certain cases and it doesn't actually pick it up, but it should work some of the time. And so if someone else picked up that call, then it'll assign the task to them, and it'll put that description and the title and our custom date there. And then we can also set it up so that it'll just assign it to the contact's assigned user. And if no one is assigned, then we're just going to assign it to our default user. So you're going to need like a default user if your contacts aren't being assigned to anyone, because tasks in high level cannot be created unless someone is actually assigned to that task. They can't just be unassigned. But yeah, that's really the whole workflow. I don't want to go too deep into exactly how it works because my voice is kind of tired. Maybe you can tell. But yeah, I built this app a while ago. This one that generates the transcript, and then I have the other one that gets the transcript from high level. If you're using native transcripts, there's a couple of reasons why there's two different apps. My website explains it. But yeah, dude, it's been this, and then yesterday I created a workflow that pulls their name out of the phone call and like fills it in automatically. And then another one that automatically adds tags like qualified or booked if that lead ended up being kind of a good quality lead based on the content of the phone call for reporting. So yeah, I mean, there's so many ways to automate high level, and it's really not that complex. I mean, as you can see, like, it's not rocket science. You don't have to juggle a bunch of variables in your head. It's pretty straightforward. So yeah, anyways, again, I'll leave a link to the app below, and I'll put a write-up for this process as well. And then once you install one of the apps, you can just import the snapshot, and this workflow will come with it. So anyways, thanks for watching, and yeah, let me know if you have any questions.